How you doing today, folks? I got started pruning this PeeGee hydrangea in front of us yesterday, and you can see how much debris I've already got. But I wanted to just kind of go over a few tips for pruning some of your larger PeeGees. Now, right now it's mid-October here in Zone 6. I'm trying to get them cut back before it's too late in the season because frankly, I've been doing this so long. Sometimes I'll just shiver just thinking about being out in the middle of winter or on like a damp, cold, snowy day working in the garden. So I'm trying to prevent that by getting out a little bit earlier than usual. I want to show you this PeeGee hydrangea, which has been growing here. When we moved into this house 23 years ago, it was here, and it was probably at least 10 to 15 years old when we moved in. So, you know, just notice how close it's planted to the porch here, and if at all possible, plant them like 4 to 5 feet away from the house if you're going to plant a tree PeeGee hydrangea. The shrub had gotten so tall that a couple years ago I actually came through with a saw and I actually cut the whole thing back like 3 or 4 feet. You know, you can see where I cut with the pruning saw. And I just want you to notice that even though I cut it back here, you see how the bud's really close to where I cut? You know, it got more buds. Here's some over here as well. So I would have cut here and then the buds would have come. And that's the really cool thing about PeeGee hydrangeas is that they, you know, they can get buds even on this thick wood here and grow new branches. Moving down the tree, what you'll notice a lot is they'll get a ton of new growth. I already cut it off, but there was just a ton of growth near the base, which if I was a little more proactive, I would have got out during the year and just cut this off so there would be no growth until like 4 to 5 feet from the ground. I left this one when I was pruning because I kind of like how long and straight it is, and I may or may not keep it. But you see, as this branch rots more and more, you know, maybe this one, you know, maybe at some point I'll have to cut this one off, but I'll have a nice replacement already started here. What I want to show you here is, you know, the method to my madness. So initially when I pruned this back, you know, this would have been a branch. It would have basically looked like this a year later. And so when I come through and prune, I basically take them back to one bud, which this fall I'll prune them back to like right here. There's a bud right there. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and then the new growth. This is 4 years worth of growth right here. And I will cut this one just beyond here. And then you'll get 3 new buds next year. So I want to just show you this one I already did. So you can see right here is where I would have pruned things back a few years ago. And then you've got the first season's growth. And then you've got the second season's growth. And then right here, this would be last season's growth. But what I did when I pruned, there's usually 3 buds on PeeGee hydrangeas that'll grow next year. But when I cut them back, I only left the 2 strongest buds shooting out this way. And then I only left the 2 strongest buds shooting out this way. And then over here, you can see I actually pruned one off the back. But sometimes I'll just take them back, like this one, you know, that's going towards the house. I could have pruned here, but I chose to leave it. But that's why when you look at these buds here, you know, sometimes you'll see just 1 left, sometimes 2, and sometimes 3. I just want to show you how I would go about pruning this grouping right in here. And again, here's your main stem, here's your first season's growth, here's your second season's growth. You can see 2 years ago I left 2 buds, and then here is, you know, the growth, literally this whole branch and this whole branch, and these branches grew just last year. So my house is that way, so I don't want anything going that way. So immediately I'm going to come around the back and just prune out these 2 in the back. And you'll notice these 2 in the back are a lot smaller too. I would have pruned them anyways because they were small. And then here's one on another branch that's small. I'm going to prune that back. Now I got this one bud growing like up back into the tree, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that one off as well. And then I kind of like all three of these. There's good spacing and they're really thick. I mean, these are thick, aggressive, healthy looking buds. So all I'm gonna do now is just go up to the first bud and cut just beyond that. And that's basically just my way. There's a bud right here, my way of controlling the growth. You don't have to cut them at the first bud. You can leave 2, 3, 4. You know, here it's like every 3 or 4 inches, there's a new bud. And sometimes it's tough to see them. It looks like there's one here, but just to be sure, I'll go out to here. And you know, now we've got this one cut back, so next year it can throw new growth. And the first time you do it, you're going to be slow and think a lot about what you're doing. But the more and more you do it, you know, you'll get better at it. So like over here, hopefully this one's still on camera. You know, you've got the first year's growth, second year's growth, third year's growth, and then the current year's growth. And honestly, I'm not really a big fan of either of these buds. They're kind of small and, you know, not super impressive. I'd rather favor these. So I'm just going to come right through and just cut them both off. All right, I've got a small step ladder, and let's see if we can prune this one back in real time. And you know, you see all these little kind of nothing buds. I mean, I just want these gone. They're doing no good, but just making a mess. Small, nothing here. Nope. And you know, we're getting up to the top, and even this one, it's going the wrong way. It's kind of small. And this one's kind of going the wrong way. This one's not bad, so we'll leave it. This one is awesome. This is going out and it's nice and thick and healthy. And then this one's kind of coming back over this way where I've already got these ones below it. So I think I'm just going to cut that one off. Over time, you know, because every year I'm leaving like 2 inches, I'll get these long, kind of skeleton-y looking branches. So at some point, I'll actually come back and I'll cut like here, or maybe here, probably more here, just to knock things back. All right, so back on the ladder, we'll see if we can do this one in real time. Don't like that one growing away back. Short, kind of weak looking growth. Weak looking growth. I like this one. It's weeping away. I mean, sometimes I may leave it, sometimes I'll cut it, but we're going to leave it this time. I like this one the best, so we're just gonna cut these two in the back off, and then just leave this one bud right here. And then here, these three are actually, they're not too bad to look at. All three of those look nice. I've only left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only left 8 branches on the stem, but for each of these branches, you're going to get at least 3 buds at the tip of the branches, and then there's going to be more back. So I think 8 times 3 is still 24, right? So you've got 24 buds coming at the top, plus let's just say another 6 to 10 below. So we've got like another 30 buds just from this one branch coming. So never think you're pruned too much. No matter how much you prune, there's always going to be more coming on a PeeGee hydrangea. That's just a fact of life. All right, hopefully I'm in frame, folks. So I'm standing on a 3-legged stepladder, and I'm just going to start cutting this back. And this is literally, you know, when I'm doing this this is pretty much, you know, pretty much the pace I go at. See how this one goes back? So we don't want that. That one was actually in the gutters. And you see here how long this is getting. So I know in another year or two, I'll probably end up like cutting this back by half. But for now we'll just leave it. But all this little weak foliage up top, just get rid of it. And if you've got time, get out in the spring when the new growth is coming and thin out all this weak growth so you can channel the energy to your stronger branches. All right, so these back here are nice, but they're going towards the house, and we don't want that. All right, and then again, I got some nice growth back here, but I'm gonna cut both of these off because they're going towards the house. Let's move the ladder. When you're pruning your tree PeeGees, sometimes you actually have to work in a way that you can just clear space so you can get to the shrub, because they grow a lot, as you can see. So I got two buds here going away from the house, so we'll leave these two. Back towards the house, we'll get rid of that one. Back towards the house. Back towards the house. And I kind of want to just prune this whole one off. Weak one, so we'll prune that off. All these weak ones, I just can't stand seeing these little weak branches, because they do nothing but take energy and give you nothing back. So we'll just keep going there, and then here. You folks can't really see it, but I've got a couple crossing branches, so I just have to decide who I want, and I'm going to choose the one on the bottom to go. And then we'll cut that, and we'll cut that. That one's kind of coming over the top, so we'll take that back, hopefully favoring the other ones. And you know, the other thing with pruning tree hydrangeas is, you know, you kind of have to get what you can get when you're on the ladder and contort to some weird positions. This one's going back. This one's kind of coming over. I like the way that's going out though. I like the way that's nice and healthy looking. Look at here, this one's got four buds. This one's kind of going back, so we'll take this one off. Really nice and thick. And then this one got a flower, but kind of small. So if I'm in camera, we just prune this back. Well, there's the end result, folks, and you can see, you know, the mess we created. It takes quite a while to clean up after you prune your PeeGee hydrangeas, and you want to see if you can make sure to get all the little all the little flowers, because these things will roll around your landscape all winter. So if you can get them all and get them somewhere where they're not going to blow back into the landscape, it's definitely better. But, you know, this is the end result, and literally everything you're seeing is 1 year's worth of growth. So I take it back to this. And if you're doing this for the first time, if your PeeGee hydrangea hasn't been pruned, you know, as long as you can remember, or you move into a house with a PeeGee hydrangea, you know, very few people know how to prune like this. So most guys will just, I don't even know what they'll do. Maybe take a hedge clipper at the end of the season or something. But it's rare you'll find one that's been cleaned out as well as this. But once you do it and make it a yearly habit to go through and clean them like this at the end of the season, it becomes much easier to care for your PeeGee hydrangeas. Folks, I just wanted to show you this tool right here. And this is called a 5-tine manure fork. And the way it works is you can use this to basically rake. You'll use it like a rake to kind of gather the debris. And then once you get a pile, you can take that fork and scoop under and either put the pile onto a tarp or throw it right in your truck. But using this tool makes cleanup a lot less work and also a lot less bending over. So if you don't have one, I recommend getting one. All right, folks. Well, thanks a lot for watching today. If your PeeGee hydrangea hasn't been pruned in years or even decades, it's going to be a lot more work than this. And just be prepared. You know, you don't have to take the whole shrub back to this right away. Do what you're comfortable with. See how it comes back. And then the next year, you can always do a little bit more. It's taken me quite a while to get where I am pruning these PeeGee hydrangeas, but it's almost instinctive now. It is instinctive now to just go ahead and prune the way I do. So thanks a lot for watching today, folks, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.